All right. Now that the first DLC is out, we can finally look through most of the Digimon, or I can say all of them, at the Mega Plus, Mega, and Ultimate level. I'm not going to clickbait you. We're going to start at the top with some of the strongest. Let's start with Alphamon Ouryuken. Uh, I rank these guys as either S tier, meaning the best of the best. They kind of centralize the game around themselves. A tier, meaning good, above average. B tier, meaning average. C tier is below average, not so good. And then D tier is like, I don't understand this Digimon. Alright, so starting at the top, or not really at the top, but starting with the first, um, Alphamon Ouryuken. It's a vaccine. It has a weakness to fire, ice, and steel, resistance to wind and ground. Its two skills are both good. Uh, its Ultimate Ouryuken is super effective against the final boss, as well as being a steel attack at power 110 with no drawback. Only one enemy, but uh, in most of the game, being one enemy attack is actually a good thing. However, towards end game, when you're going to be unlocking Mega Pluses, having AoEs is better. And since it has a second skill that is an AoE, it does that. Null is also a really good element to have on top of Steel. It hits all enemies with the second skill with an increased crit rate, does increased damage to unknown trait, which the final boss of the DLC is an unknown type, and it is a group battle, so that is actually really good. I'd overall rate this A class Digimon, A tier, I would say. All right, his direct competition in most media, or you could call him like his like mirror image, Imperialdramon Paladin mode. So unfortunately, a much less good Digimon. It has Omniblade, which is okay. It also does increase damage against the DLC final boss, even more than Alphamon or Yukin's does. But it's only one skill, and it's of the worst element to be in general, which is light. With when you're trying to deal with the Olympus 12, light is just a trash element because four of them are just straight up immune to it, and two of them are beyond immune. They're like immune plus you can't reduce their resistance to light, so it's a really bad element to have when you're dealing with the hardest fight in the game. Um, because of that knock, I have to downgrade it to a B tier Digimon. Oh, well, it's that knock, and on top of that, it only gets one special skill. Those two put together, with that one special skill being light element, really hurts it. It's not a bad skill by itself. Like it's super effective against the final boss. It's super effective against the DLC one boss, but it's just not useful against the Olympus 12. That's why I'm knocking it down to B for average. All right, season three's big Kahuna, Susanoomon. Um, this is a Digimon that would have benefited greatly from having these two skills swap elements. If this was an electric attack and this was a light attack, it would have been a way better Digimon because then this would have had the light. This would have been super effective against the seven demon lords. Not just super effective, but hyper effective. It's already super effective. And then this would have been also, I mean, it would have been an extra thing to have. Element doesn't really matter against the final boss, and that's who your main dragon threat is. But having that lightning. Matter of fact, let me check. Let me check Examon. Because Examon's a dragon, right? Yeah. Well, I guess you could also have that for Examon as well. But it don't make no difference realistically, whatever the other element is. But yeah, overall, it's an okay Digimon. It's one thing it's beating up to seven demon lords, and you can continue to use it against the final boss. It really has no place against the Olympus 12, realistically. It doesn't really do anything against them. It does nullify unfavorable compatibility, so I guess that's useful, especially if you're running light. Do I want to give it A? I did use it to good effect in the DLC too. Uh, you know what? It's either a B plus or an A minus. It's on the line there. All right. What else? Any other big ones? Season 3? Wait, no, this was season 4. This is season 3. I'm tripping. Yeah, season 3. There we go. Season three's main character. Alright, so, uh, 2 special skills. One's an AoE, that's good for in the game. One is a, what you call it? One heals you. He's a virus, which automatically takes some points off of him. And they're both the light element, which is bad. This is a really good skill. Unfortunately, Ancient and Machine is good at the Mega level. It's not good at the Mega Plus level. There are no machines for you to deal with at the Mega Plus level. No notable machines. There's probably a random. There is a MachineDramon and a Chaosmon and a. I think those two. Those do exist out there, but they're not big deals. They're not worth building against. Yeah, it's just a light element again, and then this time it doesn't even have a good trait targeting. I don't know if I could even put this as a B tier. I'm thinking this is more of a C tier almost. Yeah, on top of being a virus, it has the worst element. It's a C tier, unfortunately. I have to put it as a C tier. Yeah, unfortunately. I like him, but he's just not strong. He needs help. Alright. Should I do DLCs now? Yeah, let's do DLCs. Let's get DLCs out the way. Alright. Kizuna Agumon. Reducing fire resistance makes this really good. Even though it's locked to one element, because it reduces that element, it's really strong. Unidentified as a type is okay. Immunity, it has one. Anything that's actually going to target its 4x ice weakness is probably going to die first. Gaia Brave with that. I mean, this feels like an S tier. Yeah, and it's AoE. This is an S tier. Yeah, this is our first S tier. This guy's really good. He's one of the best Digimon you can play for sure. And I feel the same way about Gabumon as well. Alright, so Gabumon, Bond of Friendship, the other Kizuna that you get. I wish there was Kizuna Omegamon, but we already have enough Omegamons in this game. Alright. Again, you got an AoE and a standard attack. This time we have different elements. They're both good elements, just like Alphamon and Ouryuken, you got Steel and you got Null. So those are really good elements. Multi-hit crit is really good by itself. You can run Haymaker on this, I already do. And then this guy hits all enemies, and if you're faster, then you get that extra damage. This is just really good. No, this is just really good. Is this S tier? This is either very high A or lower S. It's not quite. So the thing about Agumon is that Agumon can set up other fire users to be better, but it can only do that against one enemy at a time, and that is kind of slow compared to, if I'm not mistaken, frickin' where's Sarahsmon? I don't want to look for her for too long. Yeah, Sarahsmon can hit all enemies and lower all their fire resistance, so she's a better setter. But he can do that while also dishing out insane damage with his other attack. So it's questionable. I think. Not gonna lie, this is just a really good. It's just a really good Digimon against any other Digimon. Yeah, I'll call it lower S. All right, lower S. We'll call it lower S tier. All right, more DLC Digimon. So actually, let's start off with standard. Should we just do all the Omegamon variants right now? We've already done one of them, right? Which is Susanoomon. Let's do all the Omegamon variants. So let's start with regular Omnimon. Alright, so regular Omnimon is pretty good. Um, Transcendent Sword, power 80, all enemies, so AoE, and then fire element is pretty good. Increased damage to dragons makes it super effective against the final boss. And then Supreme Cannon, not gonna lie, I don't know anything with the fire trait. I don't. But it's no drawbacks, power 100 against one enemy, ice type damage. There's enough stuff out there with the ice type damage that you can take advantage of it. Good Digimon. It's alternate mode shift, and remember you can mode shift this Digimon, so keep that in mind. Basically the same thing, except it's doing extra damage to beasts instead of fire. Don't know too many things with beast trait either. And then dragon state's trait stays the same, so it's really no real difference. Arguably dark is an even better element than fire, because you can set that up with Armageddemon, and Armageddemon setup move is ridiculous. Um, yeah, so that's your baseline. What would I call these two? Because they're the same Digimon, and since you mode change between them, I would call them super effective against the final boss, super effective against, pretty effective against the Olympus 12, regardless of how you want to play them. I'd say S tier, maybe low A S tier. Yeah, I'd say S tier. Yeah, let's say S tier. So with that in mind, let's continue with the Omnimons. So from the DLC, we get Zwart Defeat. Uh, Super effective against deities, which makes it able to kill Olympus 12 members faster, but now it is a virus. So keep that in mind. That is the worst attribute to have against the Olympus 12. But it does extra damage against them. However, if you if you don't use known bug, I think it can actually increase the damage. Um, Transcendent Sword is okay. Um, Supreme Cannon. I don't like both these moves being dark. That really hurts. But this guy is basically, he has something to kill off the Olympus 12 and something to kill off the Royal Knights. Um, so he's really good at those specific things. Um, that said, him being a virus hurts a lot, but you can fix that with a known bug. His weaknesses are light and null. Not great weaknesses to have, but you can swap those to steel and dark, which are also not great weaknesses to have. Uh, Altogether, I'll call it an A. It's an A. I think he's above average. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's quite down to average because he is smurfing. He is kind of just smurfing the strongest Digimon in the game, but at the same time, he has a lot of problems. I can say that, and he actually gets a magic attack. That is a good come up because this is a magic attack instead of a physical attack, and both of them get increased damage. Unlike regular Omegamon, who only gets physical attacks. All right, his upgrade is Alter B and Alter S, who are also mode changers, so they digivolve into each other. So we're going to treat them as one Digimon here, but they are slightly different, by the way. So Alter S gets a light element Supreme Sword. Transcendent Cannon is going to be a electric move regardless. Both of them do 100 damage. One is against beasts, which is useless to us, and one is against dragons, which we know is the final boss. If we go to Alter B, you see Supreme Sword changes to a dark attack. It lowers accuracy. It increases crit rate by 5. So lowered accuracy by 10, increased crit by 5. Um, Stays Beast trait. This does the same thing. Lowered accuracy for higher crit. Uh, I'm gonna keep it real with you. This is a really bad trade-off. Alter B is just strictly worse than Alter S. However, because Supreme Sword, because Dark is a better element than Light, um, and they're viruses anyway, you probably end up using a known bug on it anyway. Honestly, Alter S is just strictly better because you're going, no matter what, if you're going up against the Olympus 12, you're going to have to use a known bug because both of them are viruses. And with known bug, Supreme Sword with light on it becomes much better than the other way around. Supreme Sword with dark. And then on top of that, you have to correct his accuracy. You only get an extra 5% crit, which isn't very much. It's not like you have multi-hit on it. Yeah. Or you risk missing attacks. So this is definitely lower tier than it's not lower tier than Zwart Defeat, but it's lower tier than regular Omnimon. I would rank it a middle of the pack A. Yeah, yeah. That's the middle of the pack A. This is like a lower tier A. This is like a bottom of A, top of B. This is middle of the pack A. This is like a standard A. They can go back and forth depending on which element you need, but realistically, they're just not as good because they don't get the AoE. That's the other big deal. They don't get an AoE attack, and it's all physical. Without the AoE that Transcendent Sword has, they're just way weaker. And then this one suffers from the same thing. They're both single target attacks, which is a lot weaker than earlier in the game. That's good, but you don't get Mega Pluses earlier in the game. So when you're late in the game, having that AoE attack is much better off. They're much stronger with that. I wish these guys got an AoE attack. At least these two. I wish they got an AoE attack. Only having single target for both their attacks feels like a waste. Alright, cool. We've covered most of the DLC Digimon. The only one I'm really missing at this point is Parallelmon, right? Where's he at? I don't even freaking know where he's at. Probably at the bottom of it. There he is. Alright. Oh, well, we'll have to cover some other stuff later, too. Matter of fact, let's just do all three right now. Alright, so Parallelmon, I guess they corrected it so that he can only evolve from Drayomon or Inframon. Before you were able to evolve him from Old Force Vidramon and I wasn't planning on doing that. You were able to evolve him from Old Force Vidramon and from Chaosmon, which made a lot of sense to me for Chaosmon. I was like, okay, cool. Chaosmon is not doing anything better anyway. So, his attacks are Absorbent and Bang. Let's look at his stats. Do his stats. Do these look good? Nah. That's really no spirit. But he gets 2 abilities, and both of them are okay. Okay typings. 30% chance to injure only one enemy. I think that's true for both, so unfortunate there. Increased damage to humanoids, which makes it good against Olympus 12. So cool stuff there. It can go on a dark team against the Olympus 12. And then Endless Trance, no physical attack at power. I don't know what is going on with the anti-beast setup. Like, there are no beasts at this point. Maybe DLC 2 and DLC 3 will introduce some beast boss that we need to deal with, but I am perplexed as to why we have so many anti-beast skills. But yeah, no physical attack, power 85, lowers attack by 3, lowers one opponent's attack by 10% for 3 turns. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of weak, kind of useless. But it's a null attack, so you got a different typing. If you're archetype is being absorbed or being immuned. Um, Garurumon is probably my favorite edition of the DLC. Um, Beast Cyclone, not because it's strongest, I just like Garurumon. Look at it. It's an upright. It's like Garurumon if it chose to stand upright, right? If Garurumon chose to not to become a quadruped again, you just say, "Hey, give me a weapon. I got this." That's what this is. I like this so much. I used to think it was a virus, but apparently it's a data. Um, so still physical attack, power 90, increased damage to beasts. Okay, cool. Um, it's a good single target attack. It actually gets a AoE attack. All enemies power 70. Again with beasts, but that makes more sense because it is a beast, and usually Digimon tend to do more damage to themselves, which is kind of weird, but yes. So, but the most important thing is this AoE attack with power 70, which is really strong. Not bad at all. I like this Digimon. And I like another one. This is actually, I think, the best new Digimon from the DLC, just in terms of versus its own power level. Um, it's also the best buffer in the game now. So GraceNovamon. It's a virus, unfortunately, but let's not let that hold us back, all right? Because it is only a mega, we can get it a little bit earlier than everything else. So it has Plasma Stake and Elect Guard as its techniques. Plasma Stake is super effective against dinosaurs, which is irrelevant, and everything except what the defeat the boss time attack. 3 is the only place where that would ever be relevant, but that's fine. It's power 95 electricity. Electricity is a very there's not enough of that element going around at the mega level or above, so definitely GraceNovamon and Alter S and Alter B having that element is going to advance some electric type teams. But Elect Guard is the move that actually makes it good. All allies buff your reduction to physical and magical damage taken for 2 turns. 100% chance of electricity resistance boost for 2 turns. I mean, this screams, I'm your not wall, but I'm your support for the Olympus 12. Like, between this and King Edamon, you can really put together a team that's just straight up immune to, not immune, but mostly able to deal with Jupitermon and Jupitermon Wrath mode on the Olympus 12 pretty well. Elect Guard and King Edamon's Monkey Wrench put together are going to be real good. To getting some low level wins against that team. So GraceNovamon is actually, I think, the mechanically best new Digimon coming out in the DLC that came out in DLC 1. Alright. Oh, yeah, I forgot these are DLCs as well. Alright. Black Greymon is Greymon, but black. Super effective against Holy Knights, super effective against the final boss. Actually, not all that bad. I actually forgot. What is regular Greymon super effective against with its Air Force? It might be significantly better than Greymon, but I know Metal Greymon is significantly better than Black Metal Greymon. Where is it? Where's Greymon? Okay, I'm either blind or I'm dumb. Oh, there it is. All the way up here. Vegetation trait. Oh, yeah. Black Greymon's way better than. Yeah, vegetation is irrelevant. Being super effective against Holy is super good, actually. Yeah. It's super duper good. So, yeah. There's not really much to add there. You can get the black Agumon from at the beginning of the game from your packs if you bought it. Same thing with Metal Garurumon black, except it's not better than regular Metal Garurumon, because regular Metal Garurumon is a setter. It actually reduces the it actually hurts other Digimon as far as their ice resistance, whereas this just has damaging attacks, which is okay, but it's not life changing. I think this AoE attack is probably the best thing it has going for it, which is not as good as Cruscarumon's now. But it can be super effective against vaccines. Well, I guess Cruscarumon's can too. Yeah, for comparison, we could just pull out regular Metal Garurumon real quick. Regular Metal Garurumon's only real upside is that it gets another special skill. Well, this one is better because it lowers ice resistance. Power 90 is pretty good. I think this is literally the same exact move, but ultimately it just comes down to this move being better than the other guy's move. Alright. That covers all the DLCs. So let's keep rolling through the Mega Pluses. I don't know if I've been assigning letter grades to things lately. Chaosmon regular. Ooh. I'm not sure about. So it's super effective against unknown, which is good. It's questionable. This is really good against the Demon Lords. I don't know how to feel about this one. It's got a really, really high attack. This thing is a glass cannon. Probably high A tier. It's not really doing all that much. Bancho Blade, yeah, the weaker it gets, the greater damage, but you normally don't want low health anyway. No, that's not going to matter anywhere. Yeah. Yeah, I would say A tier. Maybe not even A tier. B tier. I think that's B tier. That's solid B tier. Unknown doesn't matter because it's dark type, and that's like the only type that the one unknown Digimon that you care about, which is Parallelmon resists. And Demon trait is cool, but only being super effective against the Demon Lords is just meh. And then on top of that, yeah, nah, this is not that good. Alright, how about Baldur Arm? Literally same attack, except now this guy has lower starting attack. Remove stat buffs is kind of good, but now remember, now we're dealing with a worse typing, and we have less like variance in typing as well, and we get magic going here. This is actually much better against the DLC 1 boss for sure. Oh yeah, this is much better against the DLC 1 boss, so you can use. Oh, it's no longer super effective against demons? What the hell? Why'd you switch to Beast? Oh, that made you so much worse. Oh, that's trash. Well, at least this goes against Unknown still. So it doesn't get to be super effective against Demon Lords. This is just another B. It's good at one thing, and that's dealing with the DLC 1 boss. And honestly, that's not good enough of a reason to use something. Okay, another clone of Omegamon. We're going to keep going with the Omegamon clones. Um, this one's actually a really good one though. Uh, Ice Magic attack. All enemies. I know I just skipped straight to the attack I really like to use because this is like on my best team. Um, yeah, yeah. I don't know what to tell you guys. If you have a reasonably reliable way to injure all your enemies, like Lilithspawn's special attack, this becomes just straight up. Hey, ice attack that deals power 120 times 4 hits. Well, power 30 times 4 hits. Like, it's really really good. And one enemy, no drawback, power 100. Fire and ice aren't a thing at the end of the game. You don't get mega pluses until you're already past the point where that matters. But yeah, no, this is just a good Digimon. I would say this is S tier. How high in the S tier? So far, I've only had a couple S tiers, right? Um, I've only had Omnimon, right? Yeah, Omnimon's been my only S tier so far. Yeah, yeah, I think unless I'm tripping and I forgot something. But yeah. Oh no, Omnimon and Kizunas are my S's so far. Um, I think this belongs in the S tier with them. Only issue is it needs somebody to help set it up. Um, but it's got really good typings. Its weakness isn't that bad of a weakness. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Um, yes, electric is kind of one of the worst weaknesses to have, and null is not a good weakness either. But if you're using Sky God's Thunderbolt, that's no longer a weakness. Um, yeah, it has the ability to be more damaging than it's S tier from a different. It's S tier from a different angle. Like this is a guy who gets set up to to be great. Like he sets other people up to be great. He's just great out the box, but he has a greatness limit. And then who was my last one? Um, yeah, he actually needs to get set up to be great too, but he's also pretty great to start with. But yeah, he gets set up to be great, but his damage output is the highest in the game in my opinion so far. Like once you have the Countdown Arcus set up, like you're just sweeping a team. Like when I was using it, I was knocking out 3 members of Olympus 12 at a time. Like Belphemon hit him first, and then he swept him. All right. Are there any more Omnimon clones that we need to deal with? I think we got them all knocked out. All right, cool. Let's start with some other mega pluses. Let's do the burst modes. All right, ShineGreymon burst mode. Um, season 5, right? This is season 5, final MC. Um, both of his attacks have downsides. That's the one thing I don't like about a couple of the burst modes is that they're just straight up downsides. Um, and honestly, this much power does not justify this much downside. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna call it a vegetation. Goodness gracious. Negating negating this would cost you your special skill, your personality skill, and negating this would cost you a item slot. And neither of these are that strong, where you'd want to be doing that. Like, all enemies power 100 is okay. Like that's actually really good, but it's not worthwhile. And at 440, 440 with soothing song. Let me think. Matter of fact, what's the name of that item? that gives you back SP based on the amount of damage you take. It's not this one. Dr. Kuga's Envy. And it doesn't give you the right stats. It gives you the opposite stats of what you need. It's just not a good way to work around this. Because even if you went up to 9,000, basically 10,000 SP per turn, you could only get back 200, and you need 440 to use the attack again. So at least for one turn, you can't do anything besides your regular attack. And then your second turn, you can maybe use Corona Blaze Sword, which would debuff you. Like there's a lot that just doesn't work out with this Digimon. Attacking deals magic damage. That sucks. Like, yeah, there's a lot wrong with this Digimon. They need to give it more support. It's just not good now. I'm gonna give it, I think, a D. It's just that bad. I think it's so bad it's a D. And that's unfortunate because it is a main character Digimon, but it's just that bad, guys. It's just that bad. Alright, the next burst mode, Ravmon. Ravmon's actually a really good Digimon. Unlike the other burst modes, it doesn't have any drawbacks to its attacks. It's actually got upside. So this is 90 damage at 15% crit rate. Increased damage to Holy Knights. So cool, Royal Knights. This guy beats them up. And then again, if he's faster than his opponent, which he probably is going to be because look at his speed, increased damage, and again against Holy. So this guy really hates the Royal Knights, I guess. Physical attack 95, attack 90 with 15% crit. This is a really good Digimon. I wouldn't say it over centralizes the game around itself, but it's just so good. It's got two different types, two different skills. Both are good. Both are very simple to use. You can use Sky God's Thunderbolt to increase your crit rate. You could just be faster than your enemy. Most things aren't going to be faster. Almost nothing in the game is going to beat 3669 naturally. I think only Jupitermon Wrath Mode and Ouryuken and Gabumon Kizuna beat that as your opponents. So yeah, like, yeah, no. This is just good. This is just really good. Is he low tier S? I think he might be low tier S with Gabumon Kizuna. I think he's with Gabumon Kizuna. Yeah, I think he is. He's low tier S with Gabumon Kizuna. Alright, MirageGaogamon. So you do have to use an attack. You do have to use an ability to negate this. Downside. Because this is like the main attack that you're going to be using, like 9 times out of 10. Like, yeah, you can use this, but you're going to be using this. Unfortunately, both Spirit and Immortal are useless as traits to target. But this can be fully negated with just one item. Light physical attack at power 105. So light data, I kind of don't like it. I kind of wish it wasn't full. I wish it wasn't just 2 light skills. That definitely knocks it down a peg. It's like, what vaccines are that weak? There are vaccines that are weak to light, but they just aren't that dang common. I'm keeping it real with you. This is like a B tier, maybe C, but I'm gonna go with B for now. I did get some good use out of it, some real good use out of it during my light team playthrough. with the Olympus 12, so I can't give it lower than a B. It was kind of necessary, but it's just, yeah, it's just questionable. All right, so Rosemon, I want to give her a D off rip just because why does she have light skills instead of plant skills? But we're not going to be that petty. Magic attack power 70. Humanoids, so it's good against the Olympus 12. It's a really good setter for light. Um, Granted, Agumon Holy is a really good setter for light, so yeah. Insectoid is pointless there. It's a good Digimon. It's not a great Digimon. On top of that, it's a light data again. I don't like it. I hate it. I really hate it because it's not a plant. Um, on top of that, its skills just are the same exact thing, almost. It feels like yes, this is a better skill than this, but I don't see what the design is here. This is dumb. One of these moves should have been plant. So uh, I'm gonna rank that a. I rank it a B or a C. I feel like it's below the average. It's below the mean. Like, what was my B? This was a D. I think this is a B, right? I think this is clearly better than this. I'm gonna keep real. Like they're similar-ish, but this is a vaccine. This is a data. And being a data is okay and better, but not if you're going to be flipped. Yeah, no, no. This is a C. Okay. What else? I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time to get to the ultimates. I'm already, yeah. I'm gonna have to. I might have to stop as soon as I finish out the mega pluses because it's taking a while. All right, Jupitermon Wrath mode. Um, the final partner of this game, even though you never actually get to use them yourself. No, you do, They're in a cutscene. All right, so neither of his moves are AOE. He has increased chance of mobilization. Unfortunately, that never actually procs against bosses. Like there might be a few bosses that are weak to it, but meh. Evil is super effective against the final boss, so that's cool. Um, this is super effective against Royal Knights. It doesn't really have a skill to use against the Olympus 12. I guess that's kind of because it's their leader, so meh. Um, what is there to say about this? It's a good Digimon. It's a good Digimon. I'll leave it at that. Um, Only having one element always holds something back for me, but it's got two immunities though. I'll give it low tier S. Low tier S or high tier A. It's not doing enough damage for low tier S. Low tier S is really for like really good things that are really wrecking teams. Um, Examon, I guess this is kind of a. It's not really. No, I'm not going to call it Omnimon variant. It's not. um, I always felt like this was another case of these two skills needed their element swapped. Let's see. Electricity, physical attack at power 100, increased damage to ancient. Oh no, it wasn't that they need their their element swapped. It was that they needed their trait swapped. If this was super effective against dragons, it would be a lot better against the final boss. If this was super effective against, well, ancients don't matter. Not I'm tracking. But it's fine. Um, it's a good Digimon, ish, ish. I can't really say much more. It's just a good Digimon. Um, B tier, B tier, B tier. Yeah, B tier's fine. Um, Titamon and SkullBaluchimon, huh? Oh yeah, I remember because it doesn't have any dark skills. And this is only one enemy. I really don't like this. Like, it's okay, I guess, against the Royal Knights. But that is a very small. That is a very small use case. Like, it's like not the main deal of the game. So, okay. I guess I'll put it at a mm, I think I have to put it at a B tier. Yeah, yeah, it's at a B tier. It might be. It might even be C tier, honestly. All right, Beelzemon, two dark moves. Deity trait, good. That takes out the royal, not the royal knights, the final boss and the Olympus 12, and that's a lot of damage too. And it's no drawbacks. That's pretty good. All SP. Okay, that's cool. You're never going to use it though. You're just going to use this. So, single element, dark. Weakness isn't that bad though. It doesn't have any double weakness. Yeah, deities are really good. But it's no AoE, it's just single target. This A tier. This A tier. Alright, Belphemon, double weakness to light, immune to dark. Um, increased damage to unknown trait is good against the DLC 1 boss. Um, lowers their speed. Magic and physical, interesting. Immortal, still have not seen where that matters. Yo, there better be a boss with Immortal and a boss with Beast coming. Because, like, it's just too much. Um, it doesn't even get an hit stat. And it doesn't put enemies to sleep like it does during the boss fight against it. So I guess overall I would call this a that's a B tier. That's a B tier. It doesn't do all that much. All right, Mervamon, Love Poison, Humanoid, Null. That's pretty good. Uh, hold up. Gotta lower this. There we go. Humanoid, Null is okay. Yeah, it's really good actually. Wind, Reptile is trash. 10% crit rate is, it's stapled on. It's okay. Um, is that 81 attack, right? All enemies for both. Uh, that's not bad. I guess I'll put it at a A tier. That deadly poison is never going to happen, but this is really strong, hitting everybody with that with 81 plus crit. That's pretty good. Lucemon SM, automatic S tier, right? Yeah, fire, power 100, increased damage deities, all enemies, holy. That doesn't really matter against. If it swapped, it would be automatic S tier if it swapped its traits. If this was super effective against deities and this was super effective against holy, yeah, that would have been nasty. Cause what it needs is it needs to what you call it. It needs that all enemies thing to be against deities. But still, it's a good Digimon. I've used it multiple times against Olympus 12. It's been effective. I would say A tier. Armageddemon, S tier. Um, this is top of S tier. This is number one in S tier. Black Rain is stupidly OP. Yeah, all enemies power 80 and sets up dark resistance down. The mythical thing doesn't exist. Like, mythical is not. I've never seen a mythical. By the way, I've never seen a mythical. So that's cool. Doesn't matter. 80, 100%. No, it's done. AoE 80. AoE 80 dark resistance down. That's all you have to say. That's why dark is such a good type in this game. And then nothing on the Olympus 12's team actually resists it. Well, can stop, is immune to it and can stop it. And then, oh shoot, he even gets upside against the new DLC's final boss. So DLC 1 final boss, it has upside against that. Nice. That's really nice. Yeah, this is top of S tier, and it's higher top of S tier than I thought it was, because I didn't know that it had a better move against the DLC's final boss. So let's go. Alright, Apocalymon. It has one really good niche, and that is getting Chronomon down, Chronomon's health down very quickly. If you want to speedrun Chronomon, you want to speedrun the final boss, you use this Digimon to do it. It's really good at that one thing. Otherwise, what do its stats look like? Because this move is based on current HP. Darkness Zone is based on current HP, not total HP. So you can't just hit an enemy 5 times and deal fatal damage. You'll never do fatal damage actually, I think. So it's actually not a good strategy to try to use a whole bunch of Digimon that have percentage damage moves. It just doesn't work. But okay, it has high int. You can try, I guess, to beat something to down. Wow, it has 2 double weaknesses too. I didn't realize it was double weak to null and light. Now, granted, you can gnome bug it and make it immune to light, immune to null, and then just weak to dark and steel, which is kind of cool. But I don't know, y'all. I'm just gonna say this. It's not a D class. It's definitely got a niche. It's a niche. This is honestly unrankable because it doesn't have any special skills of its own, outside of the 20% HP damage AoE, which is, if you really just want to deal some starting damage, guaranteed, it's really good. I'm not going to waffle on that too long. I'm just going to put it in a C tier. I think it's in C tier. Alright, have I skipped anything? Got down tracking. Yep, that's it for the Mega Pluses. So if you've enjoyed this, let me know. I will be back next time to discuss Megas, because there's a ton of them, obviously. Yeah, there's a ton of them. That might be a 2-hour thingy by itself. I'm going to keep it real with you. Yeah, because Megas keep going all the way down to here, roughly. So, yeah, peace.